My name is Norman Nicholson Campbell of the Pioneer Corps. I was born in Glasgow in 1892. My dad, Malcolm Campbell, was a blacksmith's journeyman, and my mother was Annie Nicholson from Portree on the Isle of Skye. After spending my early years in Glasgow, I moved down the coast to Girvan, and I now work as a marine fitter. I met a Girvan lass, Mary Patterson. She'd been a widow since her first husband, Samuel, had died in 1923. We were married at the South Parish Church Manse on the 18th of September 1931, and we settled into our wee house at 188 Dalrymple Street, Girvan. In 1935, we welcomed the arrival of our son, Malcolm. We named him after my dad. When the war broke out, I joined the Auxiliary Military Pioneer Corps. We ended up at Dunkirk in May 1940, and as Operation Dynamo swung into action to evacuate those of us trapped there, we came under heavy fire and took shelter. I ended up being captured and taken as a prisoner of war on the 29th of May. After what seemed like a lifetime, I ended up in Lambsdorff. I am now a prisoner of war in Stalag 8B, Lambsdorff, in Silesia, in Poland. My POW number is 16474. The barbed wire fences surrounding the camp were formidable. They were about 8 feet high, fixed to pine logs driven into the ground at intervals of 6 feet. There were 2 fences running parallel, about 5 feet apart, and the intervening space was filled with rolls and rolls of barbed wire. The gauge of that wire was almost as thick as a pencil, and the barbs had vicious, sharp spikes. The conditions there they're just too bleak to describe. By the time I got to Lambsdorff, my Mary had died in August of 1940. She had cancer of the cervix and uterus. My wee Malcolm, he went to stay with my sister Mary and her husband Robert in Glasgow. 8 months later, my wee boy died of diphtheria, but I won't find out about this for quite some time, as the Red Cross letters from home are sparse. It was in Lambsdorff that, now, you wouldn't believe this, I bumped into Jackie Finlay from Ardmillan Road in Girvan. He was a couple of years younger than me at the school, and he was captured 2 days before I was at Dunkirk. He'd been with the Royal Army Service Corps. It was a sight for sore eyes, I can tell you. We often chatted about the old town and wondered where all our pals would be. It was an escape for both of us to reminisce. Jackie would make it home after the war, and when liberated he would famously be given doughnuts by the actress Marlene Dietrich at the airport in Nuremberg. Good luck to you, Jackie. On the 20th of January 1943, after a very bitter spell of cold weather, I died from cardiac failure. My body will be buried within the Lambsdorff camp, and in September of 1948, 3 years after the war ends and after VE Day, my body is taken and finally laid to rest in Krakow Rakowicki Cemetery. Who will remember me now that my family is gone? My name is not listed on Girvan War Memorial. We are all mentioned on the headstone of Mary's first husband in the Doon Cemetery, so if you're passing, give us a wee nod. My name is Norman Campbell, and I am 50 years old.